Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy and on my channel I talk about all things burnout related. Today I want to talk about what stresses you out. What are your stressors? When I was recovering, I attribute two main points to my recovery. First of all, that I took responsibility for myself and stopped blaming others. And secondly, that I learned a lot about myself. One of the most important things that I learned about myself is what is it actually that stresses me out? In general, there are four different areas that can stress you out. One is external stressors, which are, for example, noise or being stuck in a traffic jam, sickness, or being criticized. Then there are internal stressors. These are mainly rooted in your upbringing, having very high expectations of yourself. Perfectionism is falling into that category as well. Then there are mental stressors, which is most of the time related to work in terms of high workload, tight deadlines, high expectations in terms of quality of work that you have to deliver, and that can cause stress as well. And last but not least, there are some social stressors, which is basically when you're being bullied or have to work in an unfriendly working environment. Now, in my specific case, I learned that I'm an introvert and therefore I'm oversensitive to noise. Interestingly, to recover, I need exactly the opposite of noise, which is obviously quiet. And also, when there are many things going on, this can stress me out. Sometimes I like a lot of things going on because it can be very motivating, but I always need to be aware that I most probably will need to recover after. An internal stressor that I have as well is the fear of being overwhelmed. Whenever I'm overwhelmed, which was the case very often while I was burning out, it stressed me out that I could not do all the things that I wanted to do or promised to do. And the worst thing there as well is that admitting to yourself that you're overwhelmed can also cause stress. Perfectionism is something that is very much always related to burnout. Many of my clients have very high expectations of themselves, and in general this is not a bad thing. But sometimes you just have to look at something and say, okay, this is good and therefore good enough, let's move on. Something that stressed me out very much when I was burning out was that the new management that came in didn't set a clear direction where we want to go. We had this large session where we were setting our objectives in terms of what do we want to do for the year, and some of these objectives were not measurable. So I wasn't sure, or quite frankly I didn't know, when will I reach this objective? What do I have to do to satisfy that objective? And that caused a lot of anxiety and stress in me because I was trying to do a good job according to new management, but I didn't know how. And it was a big issue. What also was a big issue that apparently this new management wanted to go in a certain direction. I thought we had to go in a different direction. So the misalignment there was an issue. It obviously caused then also conflict. And conflict as well is something that causes stress in me because I like harmony, I like a good collaboration. So therefore that was an issue as well. So in closing, I think it's extremely important to know what stresses you out, that you can then act accordingly or tackle that stressor in a way that it doesn't cause as much stress as it could. There's always things that you can work on to feel less stressed. I hope very much that this clip was valuable for you. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel, and see you in the next clip. Take care. Bye bye.